So our last video is about why you need to start building on the internet and how you can use the internet as an interface to create that version of yourself that you want to be, and then use it as a feedback mechanism and a feedback loop to inspire you to keep on being that person. It's a revolutionary idea, I know. Now, this video is about why you should level up in all of the areas of your life simultaneously. Now, the thing is, a lot of successful people, a lot of rich people probably tell you, I just do all the things I'm good at, everything I suck at, I just delegate. The thing is, you're not rich and you're probably not successful. And so you don't have the resources to even do something like that. You kind of find yourself in a position where you do have to do all the things that you don't want to do, that you can't delegate. And so you find yourself in this position like there's so much shit to do, but yet I got to do it. I don't want to. The thing is, there's an opportunity in that. There's something really big and large waiting for you when you tackle all the things that you're not good at. And it's really going to help you. And this potential, this really large potential, this large web of information out there in the ether is literally waiting for you to tap into, but you never will get to it if you don't start developing into a much larger person that has the capacity to hold that information. And you won't get to that point until you develop the skill to do multiple things all at once. So here's what I mean. A lot of people draw these graphs, they say this dot is you, so we're going to follow that same schema. This is you. And here's all the things that you're good at. All right, these little skills, attributes, traits about yourself, things that kind of came natural to you, stuff that you already kind of know. And these are all the things in your connection to it. They're pretty close to you. They're things that you're already good at. They're stuff that you already know well. But all things that you have to really develop into, the things that would be really good for you if you were to get better at them, all exist out here. They all exist out here in this kind of median to large outer band of potential. And so when you try to go for something that's very far away from you, stuff that like is pretty cloudy, you don't really understand it, but I'm going to try anyway. When you just do that for one skill out here, it's going to open up an entire web of other possibilities of what that even means in the first place. So just like this one, it's kind of like a fractal. This one will have other subtopics and subcategories that reference that you're going to have to learn about in order to get good at this one thing. Now that same fractal and way you're kind of granularizing one topic and kind of subdividing it into multiple also is the same for these, But I find that there's something very special that happens when you go for something that you're not good at in these outer bounds and you try to get good at them and you explore this little world that happens out here in these outer bounds. The more you do that, you're going to accumulate all this information out there and you're going to bring it closer to you and start to get good at stuff that you were never good at before. And in the process of that, you're also going to subconsciously pick up a bunch of different stuff that you never knew about. And it's going to make you think different. It's going to make you feel different. You're going to get better at all the stuff that you sucked at before. And it's just going to help you in all areas of your life. And so what I kind of mean is, like I was sort of saying, we got all these like self-development people. All these self-development people, all these like rich people, whatever. They're all saying like, I do all the things that I'm good at, and everything I suck at, I delegate. And, like realistically, that's fine. If you have the resources, you can do it. But when you don't have the resources, it doesn't make sense to do. Because there's a bunch of shit that has to be done. And who's going to do it? I'm a one-person business, a one-person team. Seems like I have to do it. And so I think that it kind of can feel like a chore. Right? Like, oh man, I got to make my own website. Then I got to make my own graphics. And then I got to make like a poster. Then an illustration. Then I got to write all my tweets. And then I got to like make carousel posts. And then have to put that on Twitter and Instagram. And then I got to make videos. I got to do all this stuff, like media stuff. I think a lot of depression kind of comes from when people sort of feel like they don't have a purpose. That's why you watch these videos. You watch these videos so I can get a purpose. just tell me the answer and I'll buy your course. And when I make a course, it'll be a pretty kick-ass course and you probably should buy it, but we're not going to make one right now. The thing is, there's all this depression going around. Like, oh man, what should I do with my life? It's all stuff, social media. The thing is, the self-development space has kind of turned into a space where it industrializes self-development and makes very common things that probably your parents and everyone else used to know, but turns them into like a type of marketing tactic and kind of uses this new speak to make it seem like a trendy thing that they came up with, when really it just kind of comes down to hard work and persistence, right? It's like the secret to everything is like a little bit of hard work, a little bit of, putting your stuff together and like making a plan, and then probably like a lot of luck, or at least a little bit luck. But something along the lines of that is always what's true, is always what will be true. That's just kind of what it is. I think that we can kind of feel like when we're like trying to develop ourselves and access those outer realms of our potential, it can feel like it's a chore. It can feel like, oh man, I don't really want to do it because there's all this stuff I gotta do, but which one's the most important? And I think that perspective comes from this other perspective, which is like, well, what are the things that we value? We value making money. So, I mean, if you're a creator and you're online, you're not making money, you're failing. Or, you still work a job, but you make no money online, you're still a failure. The thing is, the entirety of my life, when I've been developing all my skills, whether it's like web design, 3D stuff, selling stuff on the internet, and everything else that I kind of figured out early on when I was doing day trading a lot. I mean, I have all these skills, which I've had to learn to like even like create software as well, that have helped me in other areas of my life, that now that I have these capacities to do these several different things at once, it's kind of taught me about the process of even creating anything at all. Because everything that you want to create is not going to be just like a simple little thing. It's usually like very complicated. Stuff that's meaningful is always complicated. Everything that's simple or like in its simplicity, it's beautiful. It's like, no, things that are more complex are usually more beautiful. Back to the fractal idea. Things that are like more intricately woven together inherently have more beauty than things that are just simple. And so your life, in a sense, is like that. It's like there's this complex narrative of your life. There's stuff that is going on with you that you're trying to figure out, and I got to do this and this and this. And I think how you combat that is you do all of it. You get better at everything all at once. Everything that you can possibly do. Whether it's making a website. I never made a website, so I'm just going to make a website. I'm going to take a photo of my own product instead of trying to get Midjourney to do it or whatever. I'm going to then try to make my first sale. I'm going to go door to door. I'm going to try to do something. Just going to put things together to like build my own world and build my own skill sets for. You have to look at every possible thing that you have to do, and you have to do it. And when you do it, it'll open up possibilities and the probable nature of all things that can possibly happen in your reality. And you'll start to see the lines. You'll see what you actually should do. You'll see, oh, I did this and I got this result, but I could do it a different way because I have the experience now backed up from what I just tried before. And that's what happens when you design your realities. You start to develop a perspective where you look at your life from that lens where it's like, how can I just put myself in the position where I can access more information and make a better choice? Because life is always giving you choice points. It's always giving you a point in time where it's like, which way are you going to choose? This way or that way, or a bunch of different ways, but you always choose one or the other, right? So accepting the binary nature of reality is also quite beautiful when you understand that fully, how it's also like the triunion reality as well. But that's another topic. The thing is, there's a bunch of stuff that you're probably not good at. You probably should write down. And there's a bunch of stuff that you're good at that you don't even have to write down. You just already know. The thing is, I think that I've found to unlock that map of yourself, to give you the confidence, you have to get the confidence by being competent in all the things that you're not good at. The thing is, when you're focused on the things that you suck at, that other people are good at, or even the things that you're good at, but other people are simply just better at, it puts you in a position where you don't really know what you can do because you're sort of subconsciously in that position where you've already accepted the defeat in some way. You've accepted that this is just your life now, when your life is never that way. Your life is never this fixed and static point unless you make it. You can always make a new change tomorrow. Just like start the new day, reset, new screen, new me. Like just do that. Start new, try something different. Just get better at everything. Everything that you possibly can do, try to get good at it. And when you do, that's how you unlock the secret to your reality, because there's all these gaps and holes in your perception all the time. And when you get good at things that you were previously not good at before, it opens up that spider web of potential. And you just know now what to do. It's so weird how the nature of reality works. It's like, I didn't know this large chunk and large area of reality before, but because I explored it just a little bit, it opened up the door for me to understand how that world kind of works. And now from that new vantage point, I now can go here, here, here. And sooner or later, you're just kind of exploring those outer realms of stuff that you didn't know before. And the more you explore, the more you create, the more choices you have to make about what you want to do. In essence, it's more or less about giving yourself the choices, because you don't know what you even want to become until you've done something to at least give you a reference point to tell you, I want to be this thing now. It's such a problem, I think, with like young people, or maybe even like parents pushing this on to young people to like not do this. I don't know, but it's always been so obvious to me. Like when I really sucked at making websites or graphics, was making graphics in Microsoft Paint, like in 2008. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that I started to see, like there's this like beauty around the world, but I can't create it. I should learn how to create it. I should learn how to make graphics. I should learn how to put those graphics and make it onto a website. I should be able to add integrations and functionality to the website to make a user do something, because that's what I do on websites all the time. See, when you start to like build and create things for yourself, you open up the possibility to be like, oh, I could like dream again. I think that's something that I realized when I was like just kind of starting on this journey of getting good at everything that I'm good at now, is I started to realize that I stopped dreaming past my own capacity. And that's kind of a strange concept when you think about it, because like, well, your dreams are limitless. They're infinite in a way. Like you can dream anything. But I found myself that when it came to something that I really, really wanted, if I knew I didn't have the capacity to create it, then I would just stop myself from dreaming it, because like, oh, it's never going to come true anyway. I don't know how to build a website. I don't know how to build a web app. I don't know how to like do this thing. So why would I sit here and dream about it when it's not going to happen anyway? And see, like you hit that wall in that perception of what you think you're capable of. And you hit that wall here, you hit that wall here. In all those areas of that spider web of you hit these invisible walls where it's like you just don't know. Like, you don't know what to do, because you're just like, you want these things, but you don't allow yourself to see it because you don't have the capacity to create it. And that comes from you not just actively exploring those outer worlds. But it's pretty obvious. I mean, like, you don't know what you're going to do tomorrow. You don't know the person you're really going to become. You don't know. But you have to give yourself the chance and the choice to create it. And how you do that is just by like leveling up on everything. Get good at everything all at once. Just try it out.